Hello guys, welcome to the demo class from QAgenic Technologies Private Limited on the topic Introduction of Software Testing. This is just a disclaimer that this is a very shortened version of the complete session that we have, since this particular recording is just for the demo purposes. So my name is Akhil Bansal. I am the trainer plus I am the co-founder and owner of QAgenic Technologies. And I formally welcome you all to the session on Introduction of Software Testing. So first thing is that we need to understand what exactly software testing is. And then software testing is what we define as an art or as a process through which we evaluate whether the functionality that is being built into the software application is even in accordance with the requirements that were given to us by the client or not. And in the process of doing this evaluation, we find a number of issues, we find a number of defects which we report back to the developers and get them corrected by them. So that when we deliver the end product back to the client, we ensure that this complete product is defect free. So testing can be defined as the process of executing a program or software with the intent of finding errors, is what has been said by Glenford Mayers. So to give you guys an example from a real life is that let's assume that we are building a house and we are the client here. So as a client, what I would do is call in the architect and give him all of my requirements, which could be like, I need to build this house for 5 stories, and on the 5th floor, on the topmost floor, I need to have a swimming pool as well as a terrace garden. On the 3rd floor, I probably may need to have a cafe, and on the ground floor, I just need it for parking purpose. On the 2nd and the 4th floor, I need my living area, my bedroom, and all of those stuff. So these are some of the specifications or the requirements that we give as a client to our architect who is going to build the complete house for us. So once the architect starts building in this house, he may be calling in a lot of developers who would be helping him in developing, as well as he would also be calling in people who would ensure that the house is being built according to the specifications that we were given, that we gave to the architect. So these people are going to do the testing for the requirements that we have given to them. And while they are building this house, the architect may call in us and he may tell us that here is what we have built so far, and please come in and see whether we are actually building this whole thing according to your needs or not. So even when we go onto that particular site and examine the complete structure that has been built so far, even we would be doing a round of testing ourselves, and wherever we feel like that this is not what we have specified in our requirements to the architect, we will pinpoint that particular issue to them and we will ask them to get that rectified. So if you understand this whole process, here what we are doing is actually finding out defects in the house that they had built so far. And the similar technique applies to the softwares, to the applications that are being developed for our clients. So the client would give us some requirements that they need to have the product developed in this particular manner, and as the QA persons, when we go in to start testing on this particular application, we find out whether the application is being built according to the requirements, specifications given to the company by the client or not. If not, we will go and pinpoint those issues and get those rectified, get those corrected. So this is the complete process of software testing. And what exactly is the importance of software testing? Why do we even need software testing to be done? So if we figure out that software testing is not something that we actually need, so there are a number of things on which we probably may be missing out. And over the years, we have seen that software testing does play a very significant and an integral part in the complete information technology. And if we see that these are the 4 points on which we say that software testing is very important. The first one here listed is the cost effectiveness. So let's assume that we haven't built our product in the most desired manner as the client would need, and there are a number of defects in this particular application which we have now rolled out, and people are starting to use this application. So what would happen is that when people start using this application, when they start facing the issues, they are going to call up the customer care and start reporting these issues. And the customer support in turn would be then asking the developers to go and fix all of these issues. So what is happening here is that we have to have a very large customer care support system in place. There may be probably 20 to 50 to 100 people only attending to the phone calls from the people who are using the application which is full of defects. Have we tested out this application before launching it and having people starting to use it? So the number of calls and the number of the customer care people that we had on our team would be reduced significantly, and that would have actually saved a lot of cost. So the first importance of software testing is that it has to be cost effective. And once we have a good product in hand which is almost defect free, or it has a very less number of defects in it, through which we can achieve the cost effectiveness. The second point here comes on the customer satisfaction. Again, assume the same example that we were talking earlier about, that the product is out in the market and there are a number of issues that we are seeing while we are using this application. So as a customer, I would not be satisfied in using this application. And in this era wherein we have a lot of different applications doing the same thing, when we have a lot of competition out there, as a customer, it would take me not more than 10 seconds to quit this particular application and go on to a different application. For example, if I want to purchase an Apple Watch and I say, let me go to Flipkart to do this purchase. And when I am on Flipkart, I am facing a lot of trouble in even making a search which would land me up on the desired Apple Watch that I'm going to purchase for. So in a matter of seconds, I would say that let me make a switch and let me try figuring out whether Amazon is providing Apple Watch or not. And when I quit Flipkart, when I close this application of Flipkart and I go on Amazon, I find that this particular application that Amazon has is really pretty good as compared to what Flipkart has. And in a matter of seconds, I would be able to then search and place my order of Apple Watch. So I would never ever come back to Flipkart. So this is just an example. Nothing as such against Flipkart or Amazon inside. This is just an example that I wanted to cite out. So customer satisfaction then becomes of utmost importance, wherein people have to be satisfied when they are working using an application. The third point comes here is about the security. So definitely these days we have been hearing a lot that the credit card information has been hacked. People were able to pull out the Aadhaar card details from a different portal. So definitely security is something that we all are concerned about. And as a customer, whenever I am using any of the applications, as a user, whenever I'm using an application, I need to be very sure that the information that I am putting on this particular platform is secure. Be it my personal information, my name, my phone number, my email ID, or be it my credit card information or my banking information. So everything that the customer, that the user puts on an application has to be very secure. And this is why the software testers have to perform security testing on the applications that they test to ensure that the information that any user is providing is secure enough on their application, on their servers. The fourth point comes in as the product quality. Definitely product quality is what we all intend for as a user, and that is what, as a software tester, we make sure that the quality of the product that we are launching into the market is of utmost quality. And the product quality is measured in a number of ways, like the number of defects that we have is either zero or anywhere near zero. The usability of the application is very easy. People don't have to search, people don't have to navigate a lot on the application just to go to the product, go to the feature that they are looking for. And then there are a number of other factors that chime into getting a product of utmost quality. So these 4 points tells us how important software testing is actually in the market, and we can't go away or we can't release any of the applications without having it tested out thoroughly. Moving. Okay, so talking about the testing services, so these are some of the testing services that even QAgenic provides to their clients. So the basic testing services, or the one that actually forms the base for you all also, is going to be the manual software testing, the first one listed out on this particular slide. So once you know what manual testing is, you know the nitty-gritties of the software testing industry, then you move on to any of the other fields that you see listed out on this particular slide. So it could be automation, performance, mobile application testing, API, security, cloud, content, localization, and then there are more services that are associated with the software testing. So manual testing definitely is something that does not require any coding experience, or it would not even require you to go down and write any test scripts. Similarly, if you talk about content testing or localization testing or the mobile app testing, to an extent, they are the fields on which you are not required to code anything. However, when you get down into doing automation, performance, or security testing, you are then going to require some knowledge of coding, and through that particular knowledge of coding, you are going to write your automation or the performance or the security testing scripts. But it is not that it is going to take a very long time that you have to spend in learning the code. This is something that you can definitely do while you are on job. So the question that comes to my mind now is that what is it that actually happens as a process when I do the software testing, or what is it that actually makes sure that the application that we're testing is bug free? So the first and the foremost thing that happens is of understanding the complete business flow, the complete requirements that are being given by the client. Until and unless we have a clear understanding of what is it that we are required to build in the application, what is it that we are required to test in the application, we will not be able to do our job properly. So understanding the business flow is the first thing that we have to do. Once you have this clear understanding, then you go down in creation and execution of your test cases. So test cases is something that would tell you that how you are going to test an application. So it is a step-by-step, a process-oriented method through which you are going to test each and every functionality of an application. So first you create those test cases, and once you have the application ready for test, you are then going to execute all of these test cases. And once you are executing the test cases, you are definitely going to find defects. That is what the role of QA tester is. So once you start finding your defects, you have to report these defects. You have to report these bugs. So reporting bugs is also one of a very critical task which is associated with the software tester's role, wherein you write step-by-step description of how you are seeing that particular bug, and provide your evidences like screenshots, your screen recordings, your crash logs, etc., along with that bug to the developer, so that they can get the complete information of that particular bug and fix them. Once the developer fixes that bug, it would come back to the QA team to recheck. So you would recheck whether the developer has actually fixed the defect or not. So you then confirm whether the defect is now fixed. If not, then you again go to the developer, tell them that the defect is still reproducible, and then they have to make further changes to it. So this whole process would continue until we reach to this point wherein we say that our application is now stable, it does not have any major defects at least, and we can now put it into the live environment on which the users can come and start using this application. So before you put down this application into production, you are going to do a pre-production test on the pre-prod environment. So this is a double check on the testing that we have already carried out, just to ensure that whatever we are now going to put into the market is the right thing. So after you are done, after you are satisfied with the pre-prod environment testing, then you do the production launch. And now after the production launch, now when the people, real people are going to use it, you also do a very quick round of testing on the post-production environment, wherein you you not only test the application as a tester, but you also use the application as an end user to figure out whether they are facing any issues or not. So once the application is now on the production environment, once the live users are using this application, we have to be on our toes and provide post deployment support. So it may happen that the end users come in and they start finding specific defects which are happening only on their environment, like on their mobile phones or on their laptops or on their desktops. So we have to provide support to such users, and we ensure that all of the users coming on our application are able to use our application very easily. So this is a nutshell of what actually happens when you test an application, and this is the complete process on the manual testing side of it. So there are some myths that are related to the software testing side. Some of these are, and these are some of the questions that I even get to hear from a number of freshers who have started their career recently in the IT software industry. So they ask, is it possible to test a program completely? So no, we cannot test a program completely. We cannot give an assurance that that 100% of the defects have been figured out and fixed in an application, because there are a number of mobile phone users, there are a number of operating systems that are out there in the market. Though you ensure from your side that you test out on all the variety of combinations of hardware and software, but still you can't be 100% sure that you have tested on each and every combination that is out there in the world. So there always is a possibility that some of the users may still be using a very outdated version of their operating systems, on which you probably may have not either tested out the application, or you may have not figured out a bug. So this myth is true, that it is not possible to test a program completely. Coming on to the second one, testing demonstrates that defects are not present in the application. So this is the complete opposite of what the role of a QA tester is. Testing is something that would demonstrate the presence of the bugs in the application, and the role of the QA tester is to find these defects in the application and get them fixed. Third point here is testing is best done once the system is in the field and being used. Absolutely not. This is the most riskiest situation you can ever be in. If you don't test an application, you put it onto the live servers for the people to use it, and then you start fixing the defects. Not at all something that is recommended. So you are going to definitely test out the application when it is not out in the market, rather it is still in the development and the testing phase, and you figure out all of these issues and get those fixed before the live people start using it. The fourth point here is that programmers, that is the developers, can do all the testing, as they are the ones who wrote the code. So this is again a very good myth to talk about, and again, no offenses for the developers. I have seen a lot of good developers who write a quality code, but then the people who are actually developing the application will never ever find any flaws in their own code. So that is the reason why the testers are there in their jobs. So having an independent testing team without any influence from the programmers is going to do a very good job in finding out all the errors, all the defects, deviations that the programmers have had from the requirements that are given by the client. So these are some of the myths that we talked about. And talking about the qualities of a good tester, so something that you should be doing in when you start your career as a software tester is that you have to be very specific. So we at times say that I am going to catch a train from Delhi to Chandigarh on 21st of January, let's say. So here what we are doing is we are very specific in calling out the date, that on 21st I'm going to travel from Delhi to Chandigarh or Chandigarh to Delhi. So that is a very good quality of a tester. So you have to be very specific in testing your application, and when you are reporting any defect, you have to be very specific in calling out the exact steps that you did on an application to discover that particular defect. So you have to be very specific. Second is that you have to have a very good understanding of the project requirement. Unless you know what this complete project is all about, you are not going to be able to justify your job role. Definitely, you're not being able to justify your job role that good. So you have to have an understanding of the objective of the project. So once you have the understanding of the project, then only you should be able to understand the objective as what is this whole project is going to achieve for a end user. And once you have the complete understanding of the project, then you are definitely going to ask intelligent and end-to-end questions. So there may be questions which are open-ended. You may be asking very generic questions, but if you know the project well and the questions that you ask back to the developers or to the client itself, so your questions then definitely would be on the point and would be very intelligent questions. And whatever findings or issues that you figure out in the application, you have to articulate them very well. So I have seen people who have documented the defects in a way that that would say that it is a story or it is a complete paragraph description. So that is not the right way of doing it. You have to put down your defect in a step-by-step manner, and the number of the steps that you include in your defect have to be limited and have to be very crisp and precise. That would actually be that would actually reproduce a defect that you are seeing on the developer side as well. So you have to articulate your findings in a well-defined manner. So this is a saying that Edward Deming once said, "It is not enough to do your best. You must know what to do and then do your best." So you have to first know what is it that is actually required from my particular job role as a QA tester, and then you put in your 100% efforts in doing the best that you can do. Alright, so coming to the conclusion, so software testing definitely is a vital part of the complete software development lifecycle. True. Also, testing cannot show the absence of defects, definitely. So testing is something that can only show that defects are present in the software, and through the testing that you perform on an application, you ensure that these defects are discovered and then the developers fix those defects. So testing is more than error detection, because you are not just going to find errors and tell the developers that you have to fix it. You have to track all of the defects that you report to the developer and get them fixed until the end. And at the end, it is the responsibility of a software tester to ensure that the quality has been induced into the product application as a whole. So testing is definitely more than error detection. So testing the software is executing the software to verify that the software performs as specified as in it is in accordance to the user requirements that were given to us at the initial phase of the project, and then to detect errors and to get them sorted out through the developers. Alright guys, so this brings us to the end of the demo session on the introduction of software testing. I hope you liked the session. If you have any queries, you can put them down into the comment section, or you can reach out to us through our website, which is www.qagenic.com, or you can call us back on the number that you have received the call on. Have a nice day guys. Thank you so much for hearing me out.